Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me today, I have my regular crew, Jacinta Power. Oh, meanwhile, Jacinta lost her dad, so she's been off the show for a while, like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Thereabouts.
You know, be like, Papa died. In fact, when I was telling Sergio that, oh, Jacinta lost her dad, he was like, wait, how many of you now on the show still get Papa? I said, Shay. He said, hey. Shay just said, you people should not call my name in that. You know? Shay, how no?
I'm good. I'm okay.
What's up with you?
All right.
We had a nice time with Shay on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
You know, yes, we did. Correct. Shay is a correct guy.
I try for my people.
We deal with you every time. We deal with you. Okay, so tonight on the show, we're discussing the benefit of couples therapy. It's going to be an interesting conversation because we have a bit of twists, but let's not unveil it now until he's ready. Jess, what do you think about therapy
just
for
like
couples?
Just like we were saying, it's very important, you know. People need to talk. Mm-hmm. You know, the problem is a lot of people don't have anyone to talk to. Yeah. You know, they have the wrong people around them, or they just, don't feel comfortable talking to the people around them. So they need somewhere to unburden, somewhere to speak to someone who can guide them properly, Because especially when it's, couples, being a couple is a choice. It's you choosing someone every day. It's not I chose her yesterday or I chose him yesterday. It's every day choosing that person, saying, I want to be here, and you've been able to say that. It means that you're going along with the conflicts, the disagreements, and all the dynamics that come with, being a couple. I'm not even moving on to parenting, just relationship now. And you need to understand that both of you are two different people coming together to be one, to be under the same roof. So there must be some way, somehow that, it might get to, both of you are different. It might get to a point whereby maybe your disagreements are now becoming a problem. Your challenges it's now a problem. It's turning into something that could maybe even lead to a divorce. And seeing someone is very important because it helps with restoration, restoring the marriage or the feelings you guys have for one another. However, I would say that not all couples therapy is mainly to restore people or bring people back together. Of course, no, that's not the essence of couples therapy. You know what I mean? Shay, what? Shay, don't start with me. Shay, don't start with me. He said, no. She was good there.
I'm sure when you just finished, you was like,
I'm ready for that part. I'm ready for that part.
This is not the Jess.
No, we're going there.
We're getting there. She was just talking well. She was talking well before. Okay.
No, but you need to understand that, okay, because people have the wrong notion. They think that when you go to see a therapist as a couple, it's so they can mend the marriage. No, that's not what it is for. It's for the therapist to see if one foot is out the door already, to see, okay, if you guys can salvage it. You know what I mean? And then it's also the both of you to say, okay, you know what? I don't think we can do this. Let us part amicably, Or, they could say, oh, I think we can do this. I think we can work on it. Because, let's be honest, most times when people come for therapy, it's already late. There's a lot of water under the bridge, annoyance, disagreements, animosity. So much have gone, it's unrepairable. You can't, So that's what I would always advise that, of course, couples therapy has its benefits, but I would say that that's not the right time to come for therapy.
No, the right time. So what you're saying is, it's good to have therapy once you get into marriage. Don't wait for when you have issues.
Yes, and the thing is, yes, and not even when you get into marriage. It's not even the right time to start therapy, to be honest, because, you see, most people were looking for something in marriage that is not there.
No, we're talking about people who are already married.
Yes, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get you. That
it
you
is good
to
come for couples therapy.
Couples therapy.
Then go for your personal one.
Thank you.
Because you also have...
Because you also have issues.
That's the thing.
But right now, if you're already married, don't wait till you have problems before you go see a therapist.
Yes, before you see a therapist.
Because it might even help your marriage. Make you even become a better person.
It does make you become a better person because it helps you the therapist will help you see, because most people when they go to therapy, they always say it's more like another problem. Is that the other person is the problem?
In fact, based on what you just said, I saw a video on social media where Michelle Obama was speaking about how she went to therapy with her husband, and she was saying Barack was the problem.
See?
That it was after therapy she realized that
she also
her happiness was not, you understand, had nothing to do with Barack.
Yes.
In fact, I would get my producers to get that video and, you understand, share so that you listen to what she said. Very interesting video because,
Yes. Most couples that come for couples therapy, especially the partner who initiated it, always think that they're not the problem.
Yeah.
Always. And, it helps you understand, also why you have removed yourself from the equation, forgetting that it's the both of you doing this. So it cannot just be one person. It's impossible. So it helps you to see yourself for who you are. It also helps you to amend, look at the things that you have refused to see. So it just helps you restructure the whole idea of the marriage. It helps you guys communicate better. And, sometimes, it's quite difficult when just two people, They need someone to mediate for them, because they don't know how to start a conversation and they don't know how to end it. So in such a time, you have someone who is saying, okay, have you looked at it this way? Or did you think of it this way? The person helps you to see things in a broader spectrum, to bring out areas or methods to say, okay, this is a better way to see it. And then the person teaches you how to reframe. Maybe if you're the one who's always accusing, who's always saying, maybe you say things that trigger the other partner, because you might be complaining that your partner never listens, but you're every day telling him you never listen. But that could be a reason why he never listens. So we could talk about reframing all those terminologies, and instead of saying you never listen, you could say something like, oh, if you said this in this way, or if you said this in this manner, I would perceive it better. Just changing the whole
narrative,
dialogue, and how you guys communicate. So that's the many benefits of couples therapy. But I'll keep saying that we need to know when the critical moment, the time in which you come for therapy is very important. It's very important because listen, no therapist, we don't have a magic wand to just mend relationships. No. So it's very important the time in which you come for therapy.
Okay.
Therapy, yeah.
Yeah. Shay, your take on couples therapy?
Well, I've never been in any kind of therapy. I don't necessarily think it's because I feel like I have everything all sorted out in life, or like I don't have any problems, but I've just never had the need to go for it. Listening to Jess now kind of gives me another perspective, which is you don't have to wait till there's a problem to go for therapy. Just, if you have an area in your life you feel like, okay, maybe I want to work on this side, then go for it. Usually, the way we do therapy in Nigeria, Africa as a whole, is maybe go to your pastors or go to somebody else to talk to them.
Like an elder.
And have
in
a
your
gist.
family.
But the disadvantage of that is if you're not going to like a professional, or you're going to a family member, or you're going to a spiritual leader, it will always be biased in a way. If you go to a spiritual leader, it's going to be from a spiritual point of view. In as much as there's a side to the spiritual, there's some things that you need to settle, because even God himself is not going to come and solve some problems for you. You have to solve some problems yourself before it goes spiritual. Also, if there is a problem, right, the best person to talk about it usually is a third party that has no relationship with you. Because if it's like a friend or like an elder who knows you from way back, it's always going to be from, but you didn't do this, because they know your story. Do you understand? They're going to advise you based on that sentiment of what they know about you. But if you're going to a third party, I think something happened recently with you where, somebody, because I felt like you were a third party, they were willing to talk to you. And because obviously you don't know any of the parties involved, they were open to talk to you about the issues they face, So I feel like we should always find professionals to talk to. I would actually like to sit down and have, proper, maybe Jess would be the one to know, but I know you already. So.
No, but it doesn't matter.
So as much as we think that therapy is just about going to see a professional therapist, we've been having, some sort of gatherings, and trust me, it's been a form of therapy for a lot of people, So, and I noticed that, a lot of people unburden during those conversations we have. Fine, it might not, so because we are counselors, it kind of works, you understand? Like where he was saying, where somebody just walked up to me and said, oh, I like you listen. And the person just started saying so many things to me. And I felt he had unburdened so many things. He was telling me things, and I was just listening, He said, oh, you can tell I'm not happy. I said, yes, I can tell. He said, I'm actually depressed. I said, so, but you're having fun. Do you understand? But he was willing to speak about it. And at the end of that event, we had, I think you were with us now, 2 other people said, oh, we should do this more often. Somewhere people, because a lot of people are going through a lot of things, and it is here that you find out that everybody's going through the same thing.
Yes, and this is why I encourage support groups, no matter wherever you are, whatever community you find yourself, it's good for people to come together for just, it's not about politics now, it's not about business, it's not about anything, just can you just leave the fact that you're trying to be who you are? Oh yeah, we know you're the man, we know you're the woman, we know that you got it going on, but just be silly, just find time to be people and just be silly. Like you don't need any sort of identity in this moment, These are support groups that I think that people should actually have. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, it could be 7, it could be 5 people, but you guys are just there talking all sorts of,
crazy things.
That's actually another form of therapy.
Yes,
because,
it is.
Yeah.
I know, and that's what they do, more like support groups. It's like what we're doing is more like a support group for one another, but we don't even know. Because let's be honest with you, the first time we did it, what did we say that made any sense? But everybody came for the second one because people just wanted to be in that
and guess what?
environment.
And Tommy would testify that he's become a better person when it comes to certain things that he really didn't care about initially. But because we usually have conversations and he listens, he picked 1 or 2 from those conversations and he's been applying them.
Yeah.
So that's therapy.
That's therapy. Yeah, that's therapy. But then again,
like an informal therapy. Maybe that might actually
people,
work for a lot more people.
But they have round table things.
But let's also look at people who don't also have people. Some people, they're actually alone. They don't have any sort of, they don't have friends. They don't have even a friend, let alone, in a group, in a little community like ours. So such people, I would always say to them that it's on the internet there, it's on Instagram. There are many counseling facilities, companies that have support groups. You can always join. It's free of charge, You can always go for Saturdays, Sundays, one of these things they do, mental health pop-ups, one of all these things they do. Yeah, just get in there, just talk, It's more like just unburden. It's important. You might not be able to pay for therapy, for a session, but then just go to these places, this support group. Look for them. They're everywhere. Join one of them. It's on WhatsApp. And they'll tell you, on this day we're having, people come together to talk about mental health and go, have people that you just, play with and unburden. It's very important. You don't understand. It's very important.
Okay, so when Shay was speaking, she mentioned that he's never been for therapy, and then, usually it's either your pastor in your church, and it just took me back. I had a conversation with, I have a priest who is my friend. He's been my friend for 25 years. Like my paddy.
Yeah. How's he taking the death of the Pope? Is he crying?
He knows everybody. He's in his 60s,
Yeah.
So he's, but I don't have those kind of conversations with Jess, you're crazy. So we had the conversation and we were speaking about counseling and why, pastors, reverend fathers should not counsel. So we got talking. So he is actually a professional counselor. You know how the Catholics actually take time. So he's like they all go all the way out. They go to seminaries, they go to schools, universities, and all that.
They study all the theories.
They study properly. So he actually went for a professional counseling program. So I asked him. I said, "Would you counsel the way you would counsel as a priest and as you? Would there be a difference?" He said yes. He said because he's a professional counselor, there's a way he's supposed to naturally counsel someone. But by the time he's wearing his full priesthood attire and all that the difference is what comes in, they now bring in spirituality, praying and fasting
Oh, I see.
into it. And then he was trying to make me understand the role of prayer and fasting in counseling.
Okay.
And he mentioned that whether you like it or not, going through counseling, you must have committed a sin one way or the other. Because everybody believes that by the time people come for counseling, they are going through one thing or the other. He actually said some really crazy things that he told me that, have I heard about that people are going through a lot in marriages, that the mother is sleeping with her son, maybe an adult. You understand? It's happening in marriages. And then the father is sleeping with the daughter. And then you find the daughters actually snatch their mother's husbands.
Wait, is it the mother? Is it the daughter-in-law?
Not daughter, his own daughter. So you see the way you are now.
Yeah.
Was the way I was, because I'm trying to imagine Peking when I born will start to sleep with my husband.
Is
Will
it
come
papa?
follow me with a papa. Will come follow me, the drag husband. That she would even come out and say, leave him alone.
Wow.
That is that bad. And people come, there's an issue where somebody has come to speak about how he's sleeping with a dog. Things like that. And so when they come for therapy, so therapy is one thing. You're trying to restructure their mindset, you're trying to shift their mindset, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do this. So the spiritual part of it is making them understand
the sinful nature, what they are doing is wrong.
And then I thought about it. For everything that happens, there's a sin, even when you mistreat people.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Bitterness.
So that's the spiritual part
Jealousy,
of it. You understand?
envy.
Jealousy, envy.
Yeah.
So that's where the prayers and the fasting comes into
Unforgiveness.
it. Unforgiveness.
Okay, let me add something,
Yeah.
know. So you see, in what we were taught, our theories, we're not allowed to, add spirituality, Christianity, or, Islam to, our practices. It's not, it's not professional. But I realized that in this part of the world, it's going to be very difficult, especially those who have, because see, we're very spiritual people. And that's why you see that it's very hard to take away counseling from the church. Because if you want to if you want people to be very comfortable with you, someone was saying this to me, when they get into your room, the first thing you tell them, let's bow our head for prayer. I'm telling you, someone said, I'm not ready. Say, you're not ready. If you want them to feel at home, because the idea of therapy is so they understand that they're in a safe space.
And that you can relate.
So,
can relate.
So if the person is a Muslim, how do you
then
pray with the person?
Then you allow them pray and you accept, if you're going to pray, just be there to let them know that, okay, we pray first before we start.
So so with that, I think you should actually read the body language or know the person's personality,
No, but
because not everybody.
But of course, what the person is saying is that you should bring it to the table if they would agree or not. So this is someone having a conversation with me. But that's just to tell you how much, like, what you're saying is very important. Like it's very
trivialize
yes,
it.
it's what it is. It's what it is. It's going to be very difficult to actually take away in this part of the world counseling and spirituality, it's going to be very difficult, because most times when you're counseling people, they want to, after a while, they'll tell you fast and pray, and let's put our hands together in
there's
prayer.
nothing God cannot
There's nothing
do.
God cannot do. Look up to God, faith, hope. The Bible says you obviously give them some scriptures to go and read at home, because that's the way that's devotion for them. That's the way they, like you said, sin. That's the way they come out of such situation.
Wired.
And that's what they've been wired.
But guess what? It takes me back to what you said. You said when you want to forgive people, you pray for them.
But that's what I'm telling you. So that's what I'm saying
If
to
you,
you.
Jacinta,
Yes.
they pray for person. When offend you, when you offend her, they pray for them.
No, when she talked that thing, man, I really
shake.
I want to be like her when I grow up.
No,
Okay.
but to be honest, they're not far from it. Yeah.
But that's what
That's
we're
a
just trying
deeper-
to say that. Yeah. So what
Yeah.
we're trying to say is,
So
if
for me to actually heal-
for you to actually, you brought spirituality
yes,
into
I
it.
did.
Yeah.
I did. So it's going to be very difficult, because you know why? We've been wired from a very tender age that, everything has to come from the supreme being, from God, you know what I mean? The Bible, whatever it is, that we're reading. So it's really, really difficult to actually put that part away. Because people will not understand you. It's just like you go to the doctor and he doesn't give you the medicine at the end of the day. He just writes on the paper, and they tell you to go home. You say to the doctor, where's my injection? Where's my medicine? That's just like you saying, where's my scripture? Where's my fasting? How many days am I fasting? Is it 10? Is it 20? Is it 40?
Then
You know what I mean?
also know the thing with spirituality and counseling is, at the end of the day, whatever you believe in is what works for you.
Of course.
So, you can believe in stone and it works for you. If you go and see a therapist, right, and they don't speak your language, they don't kind of believe in what you believe in, there's already that doubt that,
Yeah.
I don't think this one will work. But if he's saying the language of spirituality and they now put in the professional aspect, it kind of builds up.
Trust.
So should we
Yeah.
use spirituality or morality?
Sweetheart, like I just said to you.
Morality, spirituality.
We're not supposed to professionally. We're not supposed to add any of the spiritual aspects to it. It's
No,
supposed
but
to be
so we can
ethics,
replace
empathy,
spirituality with
morale.
morality
Yes,
because
that's
your
the idea.
conscience. So
But
you're
that's-
dealing with the person's conscience.
Yeah, but that's the idea. So it depends on the theory that you're using. Are you using humanistic? Are you using cognitive?
If
So
you're in
depending
America,
on
you'll
what
be
you're
talking
using.
morality,
So it depends on empathy. Are you encouraging empathy? Depending on what the problem
the
is.
language of the person.
Is it trauma? So depending. Is it depression? So it depends. Okay? So you can use morality depending. But the idea is, where does spirituality then come into this place? It comes in because of where we are, because of our environment. And you cannot dismiss it.
Okay, so in all honesty, I think even abroad, do you understand? It also happens because, like I said, I spoke with someone today, and when he told me he went for therapy for the first time, I was like, okay, you live in the UK. How was therapy for you? Is your wife white? And he said, no, my wife is Nigerian. I said, so how did you guys cope with your therapist who is white? Did she understand the culture? Did she understand what you want, the needs of a black
How
man?
we are wired.
How we're wired.
Yeah.
And guess what he said? He said that he's amazed I was asking the question because he didn't think that, I said because I understand how this thing works. And he said, guess what? She's Jamaican. The therapist he saw, she was Jamaican, or she's Jamaican, and that she understood the cultural thing from this part
Exactly
of the
what we're
world,
talking
Africa,
about.
from Africa, and she applied it.
Yes.
And she now even mentioned that she has a lot of
Nigerian clients.
as clients.
Yes. So you see, a good therapist would apply according to your background. It's very important. That's why you see that a lot of white therapists, they don't know what to do with us. They don't know what to do with us. Do you understand what I mean? So you cannot, like I said, you cannot take away from us what we already are. So if you're dealing with Nigerians, you have to add that spirituality to it one way or the other. If you're dealing with the English, then you know how to,
Spirituality and culture.
Of course, on culture, but we have to be very careful with culture because, culture can be a bit tricky because that's what we're trying to change.
Spirituality is a bit tricky.
Yeah, I know, but you see, if it's straight up spirituality, like straight up, just straight up, you know what I mean?
Just prayer
fast prayer.
No, but guess what? All the spirituality, be submissive to your husband.
No,
yes. So you can't pick the things. You can't pick.
No, let's be honest. But let me be honest with you. You're not supposed to tell the other woman to be submissive to her husband. That's none of your business. It doesn't concern you.
Then you can't also tell her to go and pray and fast.
No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. No, you're not becoming the pastor. Don't move too far. Stay with the medication, which is pray, fast, and that's it. Don't tell any other thing. You're not moving too far.
But guess what? You're not even supposed to say fast and pray.
We're not even supposed to say that. But we're saying that you have to still one way or the other.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you're putting that,
it.
you would also put in the culture to say, naturally, how African men like respect.
No, you can't do that. Now you're not moving too far.
Exactly. So that's why standardly you shouldn't bring in spirituality into it.
But
because you know why I say that? If we could argue this, even in spirituality,
go deeper.
Even in spirituality, there's submissiveness.
Yeah,
sorry.
but now we're not talking about being a pastor and teaching the word of God.
No, but you see, when you pray, when you say pray, you're asking God for forgiveness.
Okay, like now, let's look at the issue. When you're talking about someone who was sleeping with her father, right? Okay, now, in such cases, I could then say she's possessed. I could then say that maybe the village people.
Culture.
Do you understand what I mean? Which is... Obviously, it's not in our ethics at all as counselors or therapists.
But that's culture.
To say anything like that. So even culture aside.
But that's what I'm saying. Culture will not make you say, because she's possessed, you need to go for deliverance.
Now, guess what? That's what I'm saying. So I can't do, to be honest with you, we're not supposed to do any of that. Now, she comes with her mother. Maybe the mother brings the daughter. And the mother is expecting me to say something like, it's the devil. Do you get what I mean? And the mother is saying, this counselor. You're not saying... This is not what I paid for. This is not what I paid for. Yes, because you can see people actually tell you things. Yeah. They can say to you, Benny, what's going on here?
This guy don't talk to streets.
Bad face.
Fun guys.
Bad
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, see, to be honest with you, we're not supposed to add any of those things because we're not supposed to do that. But you see, because it's very early in this part of the world, the people just begin to understand what therapy is. You cannot just... If Dr. Tolu hears me saying this, I should say, no, Jess.
This is not what we taught.
But you see, but the thing is, like you said, experience is important in whatever we're doing. And that's why you see that you're counseling someone from, Nigeria. So there's already something that is, they're already wired in a way that you cannot not just ignore the fact that they're not wired that way.
You just want...
And let's be honest with you, Nigeria. That most of the theories that we learned and all of these things are mostly from the white men. We don't have our own theories as Africans, to be honest. And so most of these theories don't apply to us as black people. You need to look at that as well.
We have to work within the constraints of
what we are. So we cannot use the theories of the white man this culture.
To solve our own problems.
So I can bet you, if we bring out our theories tomorrow, Franca, we must add some spirituality.
Yes, spirituality
we must add
and
something
culture.
And culture. And then we look for a way around it to
coin it,
tailor
so
it can then help us to achieve healing.
The same result.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say. Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time. This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 08190384663 or call to join in the conversation on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, so just before we went on our long break, we're having a conversation, and we're trying to analyze why. So initially, when you started this conversation, you said therapy shouldn't be left till you have problems. It should even start before you get married, premarital counseling.
Yes.
But now, old people don't marry, and they have and they have like serious issues. So I don't want to make it about issues, because the truth is, I discovered that after therapy, they find out that what we're calling issues are really not issues. It's just communication.
Yes.
Have you noticed?
Communication problems.
Mm-hmm. Communication problem. And a lot of marriages are not doing so well because they lack proper communication. One person somebody is not saying exactly what they want to say.
Yes.
The other person is not understanding what this other person is saying. Mm-hmm. And because they're having those differences and then ego and pride, one person doesn't want to ask, what do you mean? And all that. So really.
Okay, so let me take it back a bit, yeah?
Okay.
So, before anyone becomes married, they are themselves. We'll obviously live with ourselves the longest of time before, anybody comes our way. The problem I think people have is when they want to get married, or when they're looking for a partner, or when they're in a relationship, they tend to want to find love in someone. So they want to find love, and someone. So they're looking for someone to love them. They're looking for someone to be, they are all in all. They're looking for someone to. So they forget them. So they remove themselves from the equation, and they look for all these things in someone else. And that's where the problem starts. The problem starts when people do not find these things that they're looking for in others in themselves. And that's why I would say, of course, there are benefits of couples counseling, like we've mentioned, earlier on. But I would say that that's not where it should even start. It shouldn't even start in premarital counseling. It should actually start in individual counseling, finding yourself. Because let me tell you, nobody would love you like you can love yourself. Your husband is not supposed to love you in the sense that you don't go looking for peace in someone else. You're supposed to be the peace first. No, Frank, let me finish.
I agree with you, but that one you talk, I don't agree.
No, listen, let me see why I'm saying this.
Okay.
Your husband is supposed to add to your happiness. Mm-hmm. Add. Mm-hmm. Not be the source of your joy.
Yeah. But he should love you.
And of course, that's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, of course, he's going to love you. Come on, darling. He's going to love you, of course, yeah? Of course. But you see, the thing is, don't let him be your source of joy. You see, expectations, these are the problems. These are where you see women losing their mind, burning a man's car down, smashing the television, fighting. People have killed. I was reading the other day a woman who was going to shoot her boyfriend in the head when he was sleeping. But she misfired, and he went through maybe, he didn't go into the skull. She's a judge. She's worked all her life. She's done so much for the society, and but now she's in jail because of what? What could that little boy? What could he have done?
Little boy.
Yeah, because he's much younger than her, wanting to kill him in his sleep. What triggered that? So that's the problem there. What got you to the point that you have put so much of yourself in someone else? That's the only way you've lost yourself in someone else. To want him dead. Maybe he's talking to some other girl. Maybe it's just something very trivial.
Okay, so no, but just I want to ask a question.
Okay.
So are we saying that because you already have you're happy, somebody cannot piss you off?
No, that's different. See, that's pissing you off. Pissing you off doesn't mean that you say you don't want to kill the person, or you don't want to get married anymore.
No, so maybe
pissing off. Okay.
Maybe I use the wrong word.
Okay.
So are you saying because so for example, Shay and I are partners. Mm-hmm. We're together. Fine. Shay is not. My happiness will not come solely from Shay.
Because
I would do things to make me happy, but Sheyi is also supposed to add to it. We have expectations, whether we like it or not. But Sheyi is not meeting his expectations. With everything, I'm trying to make myself happy. Do you understand? Sheyi is supposed to, at least I have expectations from Sheyi to say, you know what, as much as I have to make we're in a relationship, you should bring in at least 40, comfort 40, do you understand? But yet, Sheyi is doing 10%, and then he's giving somebody else 80%.
Now, that's where the premarital counseling comes into play
Okay.
before you get married. In premarital counseling, before even the couples therapy, that is where you then say, Sheyi, are you willing to bring in 40? I expect 40 from you.
If Sheyi,
I can say it now.
If Sheyi said is that, if Sheyi said he will give me 80, and
When-
then we get married,
And then he lies.
Yeah,
and then
But trust me, do you know there's something about being aware? If Sheyi knows that you guys discussed it and he promised he will give you 40 or 80 and he defaults, do you know there's a way the relationship will go in the sense that it was discussed and you'll be in a better bargaining power because you discussed it.
Jacinta,
Don't you think so?
as much as I want to agree with you, I do not agree.
Okay.
You know why I say that? Now, I don't think there's any marriage that the couples dated that they've not discussed one or two to say,
No, so it could be.
that's so it go be. Oh. Not formally. Maybe when they knock,
A lot of
maybe.
people did discuss a lot. Even a lot of people didn't even talk about
I'm
finances.
just saying, but I know that there are some that they would have discussed. Jacinta, there's no marriage that the woman has not said, don't cheat on me. Yes. Because you've been...
Directly or indirectly?
Indirectly or indirectly. You even be shocked that even while they were dating, they don't fight on top of you carry girl, you not carry girl. Or you follow man, you not follow man.
But people still end up doing it.
But people still end up, and they will come to your face and tell you it is a lie. What you see, you're hallucinating. Like Jacinta has healed. Initially on the show, she said men are liars.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm coming there.
You do understand? Just said before you used to say,
No, I'm coming there.
Exactly.
I was going to say something, but
Okay.
you didn't let me say it. I
Okay.
was going to say that this matter of cheating is too big for me right now. I cannot
This
resolve
master
that.
grade.
See, that's one that they say, oh, I'm not going to cheat. No, forget about that.
Do you understand?
That does
So
not
you'll be
apply.
shocked that. In fact, I've heard a story of a lawyer as well. The guy was sleeping. She actually took knife and cut off his wee-wee. Because he was cheating. And I'm like, really?
Well, that's the thing. You see, a lot of people are not wired to, you see, Franca can take that now. Maybe Franca can take a cheating man. Maybe somewhere in her brain, she's wired to take it. She can take it, But some people cannot take it. They don't have the I don't know.
The threshold
They
is
can't.
really-
They can't. And then you look at. Just imagine, you're going to cut the person's pee. What's that going to do? To what end?
If you don't have it, what will you use again?
To what
And
end?
the mentality behind it, this is the thing that is given. So, but you know how men, so sometimes, I don't want to make it about the men because sometimes you can't do without it.
My body's shaking.
like how will my life
How
be?
will my life be? But sometimes even the women that cheat, I have seen where the men don't understand what they will do to their wives anymore.
But there are men that
Constantly
don't
cheating.
cheat.
Yes.
Oh, there are men that don't
Yeah.
cheat.
Like Sheyi
Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
cheat. Do you understand? So, but there are women that would also cheat.
Of course.
And then their husbands, their husbands have to deal
Deal
with
with
the
it,
whole,
yeah.
you understand?
yeah.
They would go out together and you find the women are the ones who are eyeing guys
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
happens. So I don't want to make it about the men, just
Yes.
that, So in that kind of situation, and then the man gets angry and shoots. No, but for the men,
It's
I don't
ego.
think, I don't
Men
think,
don't. Do they?
they,
do
I
they
don't
do-
think they shoot. It's all of those ones that are married to nurses in America.
Nonsense.
Nurse-
No, but we've had instances where the man would kill the wife for cheating. These things happen both ways. It happens both ways. Crank, I just feel that you see, when it comes to couples, husband and man, we say man and woman matter.
They're not the fifi,
It's not
finish
for the faint-hearted. What you can do is to listen, guide,
Say what you can.
and allow them choose.
Jacinta,
Couples therapy is not so that you guys can be together. Remember, it's not that
We're
you
going
must
there.
stay together.
We're getting there.
Couples therapy is not that you must stay together.
We're getting
I will
there.
identify if you're already
Is that
out the door.
we identify? Is that we identify?
What are you doing?
Jacinta,
No,
see,
but to be honest with you,
we have had this
I will know
conversation.
if you still want to. I'll be looking at the both of you.
Jacinta,
I'll know if
she
someone's
and I
already
have
out
had
the
this
door.
conversation
Okay.
to say that
No,
Jess,
Miss Jess.
as a counselor, as a marriage counselor, if 10 cases come to you,
This is
8,
60%.
If you don't,
60%.
if you're done with the marriage, come to me.
60%.
No, because the thing is, I'll help you understand why you should leave. Why do you want to be there if you don't want to be there? Is it culture? Is it peer pressure? Is it family? Why are you there if you don't want to
fear?
be there? Is it fear? I would help you walk out, help you walk the fear out of your body,
What
anxiety.
if there is fear, if it's culture, and I want to be there?
If you want to be there, oh well and good. Then
there.
we'll help you to be there. It's your choice at the end of the day.
You
I
won't say,
cannot
"Don't
tell you
come
not
to me again."
No, I can't say that. But the thing is, I'm not trying to force you to be in where. The thing is, I don't want you to be where you don't want to be. No, I always tell you, Franca, life. I believe in choice.
Choices, yes.
I believe in choice. If you're ready to jump, I would help you. I would hold you and we'll take the leap. You know, I'm not going to say don't go. You know, if your family, your peer, your friends, you know what I mean.
actually
I will not. I will not do that to you. No, I will encourage you.
Okay, so but as a counselor, what would you say to couples who have never, like Shay, who have never been to therapy? She has been to therapy,
You
group therapy.
should go to therapy. You know why I say you should go to therapy? Especially go when there's no problem, because it helps you to get to know your partner better. You know, this thing about marriage is about you choosing yourself every other day. It even helps you guys. You see, you fall in love even more every other day when you can talk about one another. You know, when you can, maybe there are things that you've missed over time, and now she's saying, "Oh, that thing you used to do, you don't do it anymore." It allows for an environment for you to communicate again. You know, and then it brings good memories. You know, you people are allowed to talk, and the other person listens, and the other person, listens while you speak, and it sparks so much. It's more about just igniting the fire, the love, with one another. It's like going on a date, but now this is just like a guided date where someone is telling you what to do and what not to do. It could even be about sex. It could even be about what's happening in the bedroom. You could say, "Oh, you could just." If expression, you could say, "I'm thinking about this style. I saw this, and what do you think about this?" You know what I mean? And you could say to counsel, "How better way can we do this?" It could be maybe bringing somebody into your bedroom. You never know what exactly it is that you want to do.
This is kind of go where we don't know. They're kind of where we don't know.
No, I'm just saying you can explore with someone being
So,
there.
as a counselor, are you saying you would encourage them to bring a third party into the bedroom?
No, I am not saying I
What
encourage them.
was
I'm
that,
saying
what
that.
was that therapist, the sex therapist? The
Say.
ones that stay...
The one that
we learnt.
that we learned our last hangout, that he says that she will guide you.
They'll be
She's
in
there
the room
watching.
with you.
There's a name for it. Can you remember the name?
Yeah,
No,
there
I
was
can't
a-
remember.
Oh.
Say it again.
She said that
Somatic.
somatic.
Yes,
Yeah,
somatic.
somatic therapy.
Yeah, somatic sexual
Yes.
Yeah.
therapy.
Are you referring to somatic or threesome?
No.
Oh, this song.
All the song.
So what I'm trying to say is, it's just an avenue for
No, but
the both
just
of
that
you.
could also be a problem.
That what?
Bringing a third party,
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
then they can talk about
Then they
it
can talk
there.
about it.
So maybe he has offered or said something about it. They say, "Okay, let's go see the therapist."
Okay.
You can sit then, and then you allow the both of you to lay your concerns. Why or why not, and then if the other person feels, "Okay, you know what? Okay, we can go ahead," or "I think we should just forget about it." It's a place where you can just explore each other, talk to one another, hear each other speak, so that there's nothing, no one is holding any grudge. Because the problem is when people come for couples therapy, there's so much already held up anger, and there's no one is talking to each other anymore. No, it's just already bad. It's very difficult at that point. I'm telling you, it's already most of the time they're just doing it just for the sake of it. They're not there.
Okay, so
they're
but
not
in
there
all fairness,
to heal most of the time.
No, but in all fairness, I've heard
Cases
people
where
in
that
what
worked.
cases where therapy has helped.
No, therapy,
Yes,
dude, it does.
it does
But I'm just
help.
trying to say to you that it does help.
It would be better when.
It would be better
when
if
you know,
not for
yes.
conflict resolution.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Okay, so we have a message from someone. Okay, so what said? Okay, surrogate therapy. Is that what it is?
Was it surrogate therapy?
It wasn't
Somatic.
No, somatic. It was
It was
somatic.
somatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's somatic. And she said listening to Heartlines every evening is therapeutic.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yes, because sometimes it just helps you to relax.
Unburden,
No,
just-
it helps you
So
relax.
are we looking giving people therapy?
Oh yes, that's what it is. Because somebody, you'll be shocked that somebody is going through something at home, and just listening to us speak, and she's like, "Oh, really? Then why am I bothering myself about it?" So I could actually navigate this whole thing like this, you know. There are instances where we have spoken about gifting items, we've spoken about having proper communication.
Talked
It's not
about
everything.
support group,
Yes,
you know.
so you'll be shocked that one or two people have gotten something from what we
Oh,
have
I'm sure.
said, and
I'm sure.
yes.
Oh, no,
you
but
know.
I think that the show it's a wealth of knowledge. I think that there's so much people can learn from this show. You know, there's so much we talk about, you know, from and different angles, you know. So yeah, of course we laugh, we talk about, we give details, you know, we give story tell, you know, our personal lives, you know. So yeah,
And they're not scripted, so it's not something that we're saying, oh, we're trying to give and we're trying to paint a picture.
No,
No,
we're
these are
not.
real stories.
It's just us
from
hanging
real
out,
people. Yeah,
really.
us hanging out, just
Yeah.
discussing things from the average man's perspective.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And we're trying not to make it too professional so
Yes.
that everyone can, you know, get one or two things out of it. Yeah. So yeah,
Makes sense,
it's
yeah.
therapeutic. So thank you so much for that.
Okay, so yes, well, thanks. So we've come to the end of the show. Shay, you want to say something? You didn't say so much today.
Yeah, because I left it to the professional.
Yeah, because she's a professional counselor. Me, I'm a host. Oh yeah, sorry.
I am just a bystander in this therapy thing.
When
But
we need counseling in the other room, we will come to you.
yeah, I'll be very glad to.
What other room?
provide-
No, there's a study.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Shay, you want to say something?
Nothing really. I would just really actually like to have an experience with therapy. You know, I mean, the only thing I really had was counseling, marriage counseling, and all that.
That wasn't as detailed.
It was actually detailed because I went through the Catholic. I went for Catholic. I mean, like you said, they're very thorough. It was 7 weeks of counseling.
Okay.
You know, you go every Sunday, and
Did you talk about finances?
you talk about everything.
Good.
Finances, sex, family,
But it was a group
extended family, but yeah, it was a group
Usually
thing. It
group.
wasn't-
It's usually group.
yeah,
They
it
just
wasn't
everybody
individual.
marriage counsel. People that are getting married around
And
that time.
if you were going to marry in a Catholic church, it was.
Did you
it's
share your
compulsory.
fears? Your
You
fears?
don't even know what you're doing. So that's the thing.
They don't allow you to talk personally. Like
No, what I even mean is. when you're
They
getting
didn't understand
married,
the value. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
we don't have so much
when
time.
you're getting married,
Okay,
what
so-
do you really know
Yeah.
that you're going to do? You know, you're just two people in love. They say, no,
Let's
go
quickly,
marriage.
quickly,
Yeah,
let's quickly
exactly. Let's
do
go
it
for
and
marriage
get married.
counseling.
Yeah.
You don't even understand half of the things or the depth of the things that they are saying at counseling. Is when you now enter, you now be like,
We'll have a part 2 of this. So we need to
Yeah.
go. I think we just have barely a few seconds left. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.